There was a great opportunity for West Indies to defeat this Indian side, especially the big guns were absent because since 2006 West Indies hasn't defeated it 12 consecutive. Now it is 13. Do you rue the fact that it was a huge opportunity let down by the way, especially the way your team performed in the last game?
Yeah, as you said, it certainly was a big opportunity for us. We understood what was at stake. History, we could even write our own history today. Um, but again, we need to look at the processes a bit more, understand what's required in crucial situations of the game, so we can come out on top next time.
But despite the loss, if you were to count the positive, maybe it is because the way top order disintegrated, and then the lower order saw the fight back. This is what the West Indies cricket needs. Even if you lose the fight back, the attitude.
Yeah, the attitude remains. It's something I always going to be stressing in the dressing room. And I wouldn't like to pinpoint one particular area of the game, whether it's in the field or with the bat. But we need to understand we need to put more collective performances together. And if we just look at one thing in particular every single time, then we're just pointing fingers. We really need to all take responsibility, whether it's in the field, with bat in hand, or with ball in hand.
How can you talk about Mukesh Kumar's spell, the first spell, because he just made his debut. You saw him in test matches. So how is his performance?
He bowled really well today, especially on the surface. I realized that he was getting a bit more movement than I was expecting initially. Because when we bowled, I didn't see as much movement that he was getting. So I must say his team presentation was certainly very pronounced. And in that situation there, when you break the top order chasing for 351, then you're always going to be fighting a losing cause. But credit must go to the lower order. It's putting that same fight that you spoke about. But yeah, we need to make sure that we starting a lot better and then give ourselves a chance in the back end.
Skipper, today's match, we bowled first, they scored 351. What would have been an ideal score to chase today on this pitch?
I thought the pitch was pretty good, to be honest, for batting especially. In After the start they got, I I can't fault the guys for pulling them back to that 350 score. So I would say we gave ourselves a chance to win the game with the bat. But anything between 300, 320, 330, I thought we always had a chance. But like I said before, we lost early wickets. Chasing a 350 score is always going to be difficult.
Since you have come in the middle order, the reason being that you could stable the middle. But since you have left the top, we are always 20 for 1, 5 for 1, 10, 15 for 1, and it has caused a gap at the top of the order. Has there been any thought for you to return to the top of the order, seeing especially we have an informed Puran, Athens is now in the team, Hetmaya is back, that you could return to the top of the order?
No.
Stay in the middle.
Yes.
Um, Captain Award on Shubman Gill and Ishan Kishan, the partnership, and they were into. So, do you think that sort of they batted the West Indies out of this 351, as you just mentioned that any total between 300 to 350, it's always going to be difficult, even though it's a batting wicket.
Oh, well, they played well, but again, we missed a chance early up, and not in our bowling innings as well. And if we got him early, Kishan, I'm speaking about, then it could have been a whole different batting display from India. But again, that's in hindsight. It happened. We have to react to it. The chance that we put down. But again, I can't point a finger on one particular instance of a game. But again, credit must be given to Kishan and Shuman for the way they played. They assessed the conditions quickly, and they gave India a great total to defend.
You saw Ishan Kishan's game. All three games, he got the consecutive 50. That's why he was man of the series. What is us? There is so much competition in Indian team for every position. How do you assess Ishan's performance?
This thing, he's a fearless cricketer. He's one who always likes to throw that first punch, and he puts bowlers under pressure. Any slight width or anything on his legs, he tends to capitalize, and it gives bowlers very, very small margin for error. And I must say his style of play, especially on these surfaces, I thought that he played very well, especially in Barbados when it was a difficult track to score on and score freely. And then today, obviously, just continued the way he was playing, and it worked out for India.
Captain Award on India's performance. Obviously, the few days to go before the World Cup.